Welcome to Elevate Springfield, where we will dive into strategies and stories that help you rise to your full potential. Each episode, we'll talk about how you can take intentional steps to elevate your life and your business while making a meaningful impact on those around you. Along the way, we're going to bring in the change makers from our community that are already elevating. We'll bring the actionable strategies, you bring the discipline and follow through, and together we can elevate Springfield.
All right, let's go, Springfield. Time to 10X, time to level up. Hey, you are listening to the Elevate Springfield podcast, coming to you from the Big Dog Construction Studio in beautiful downtown Springfield. Robert Ferriell here, certified 10X coach, speaker, and mentor, here to bring you actionable strategies. You bring the discipline and follow through, and together we're going to elevate Springfield. Well, hey, you are listening to the Wellness Upgrade on Elevate Springfield, where we're going to bring you specific strategies to help elevate your health and wellness. Hey, if you're not elevating your health and wellness, you're not going to be able to elevate in all other areas. This is the baseline. You know I'm passionate about it, and you know that's why I brought this segment to Elevate Springfield. We're going to get right to our guest after the break.
Looking for personalized insurance with hometown care? David Hilst, American Family Insurance Agent, is here to help you protect what matters most: your family, your home, and your dreams. Whether it's auto, home, life, business, David and his team are proud to serve the Springfield community with trusted advice and reliable coverage. Local service, real relationships, peace of mind. Call today or stop by their office. They can build your dream protection plan together. Call 217-726-6343. All right, and we are back for another edition of the Wellness Upgrade. Hey, if you're watching this, you know I'm not in the studio. We are at the beautiful Crafted Stag Supply. Hey, you've seen me out here before. Before we begin, thanks to Grant Hammer and his team over here for allowing us to use the space. We just had a meeting with Local First Springfield and the Crafted Stag, and we've got a cool event coming up. I'm not quite going to put it out there yet, but it's going to be a great one, so keep an eye on that Local First Springfield Facebook page. But joining me, you remember him, he's been in a few times by now, Brennan Malham from Malham Health Maximization. Brennan, how you doing, man?
Fantastic. How are you doing today?
Oh, fantastic. Thanks for coming down. And
appreciate having me.
Yeah. All right. Well, today, our topic of the day, a fitness floor. What do you mean by that, man?
Well, I think most people build their fitness beliefs, their health beliefs, on a life that they had, a season of life that they had when they were maybe single, or they just had a girlfriend or a boyfriend before they even had kids. And I don't think many people ever transition out of how they do that. Mm-hmm. That's how they go about life. That's what they think about their training. That's what they think about their nutrition. And that's great. That works really well. That's very, I'm rigid. I'm chicken, broccoli, rice. I'm meal prepping every single day for myself. I'm prepping the same foods. I'm eating it. I train 6 days a week or 5 days a week. And this is how I do it. I follow this exact program. But then they have kids. Or then they get a new job, or the career starts taking over, or maybe they get a side hustle or a new business, or who knows, they have to take care of a parent. That's another thing, or health problems, and they never evolve, they never adapt. They're functioning on old software without ever changing, and they inevitably fail. And then they start to get what I call drift, and drift is the biggest risk. What I mean by drift is, they drift away from who they are, their ideals around health and fitness and how they take care of themselves and what they believe about themselves. And they look up and they're 30, 40, 50, and wow, how did I become this version of myself, even though that's not who I see myself as? They never adapted.
Mm-hmm. Do you see a lot of people drifting in the summer with all the extra stuff going on?
I see drifting in the summer. So if you look at the major points people drift, it's when they vacation. Mm-hmm. It's when kids come home from school, when their kids are off on summer vacation, when their kids go back to school. And it's also when, like the wintertime, like Christmas break, Christmas season, New Year's, like they start to have these drifts, these inflection points in their health, their wellness, their choices, and they just never find their way back. Or maybe they find their way back loosely, but it's hit and miss, and it never establishes a new rhythm. So I think most people need to set a floor. This is who I am and how I do it in every season of life. And I think it's important to, every season, like at least once a year or twice a year, say, this is what my life looks like right now, and this is what I can expect of myself. And instead of building a plan that is based around if everything's perfect, You build a floor. This is when everything's failing. Most people have it like when they're like, I'm gonna get fit, I'm gonna get after it, I'm changing my life forever. They build the perfect plan. They're like, I'm gonna follow this program for 12 weeks. This is how I'm gonna eat. This is how I'm gonna do everything. And that's great. You're planning when it's perfect. What you really need to do, what anybody needs to do if they want to have long-term success, they need to plan when it's messy.
Right.
Plan messiness. Build it into your life, and that makes a huge difference.
So what are some things that people could do to have that baseline? Hey, this is my baseline of what I'm going to do all the time to keep me from drifting.
What I do for myself, what I do for a lot of clients is I set this baseline floor. So one of my baseline floors I do every single week. I like to mix in different modalities, CrossFit. I like to run. Lately, I've been loving sprinting. I've been loving running with my boys. I do youth baseball coaching, youth football coaching, and high-level athletes that want to get better. And I love running with them. But a baseline floor, one of my fitness floors is 3 times a week, I'm going to do 2 lifts. I'm going to do an upper body and a lower body. That is my basic standard. This is a foundational piece that I come back to over and over. Now it can look different, but for me, my foundation, my fitness foundation is 3 days a week. I'm going to do 2 lifts, just 2. Super simple, approachable, not even hard. Like it can take 15 minutes, and I do 3 sets of 8 after 1 or 2 warm-up sets. 3 sets of 8 with a hard and fast 1-minute break. That's it. So realistically, 3 sets of 8, 1-minute break. We'll say you're doing each 3 sets, that's 6 minutes of 2 different exercises, and 1-minute break, you're spending 12 minutes. So
you're crushed in 12 to 15 minutes.
Yeah, you got it done. And then from there, that is your floor. That is your foundational piece. If you want to throw in some cool other pieces, do it. But I think so many people, they want to mix in all these variables. You know what, I want to do chains or kettlebells, or I got some bags, or I want to start running. Great. Introduce those pieces one variable at a time. Add it in there. But have these foundational pieces. And how I build it that really has success for me is I say, I'm going to do an upper body lift. That's how I'm going to start. And then I'm going to do my lower body lift after my heart rate's going a little bit. And you can add in different warm-up pieces, but that's the foundation. I can warm up more or less. And typically, a good guideline, I think, for most people, every decade of life, you add 5 minutes to your warm-up.
Okay. All right.
So like for like 0 to 10, they really don't need a warm-up. We can get out there. We're going to go. I'm frisky. But 10 to 20, okay, we're going to spend 5 minutes warming up. 20 to 30, we need about 10 minutes. Like 30 to 40, now we got 15. We need to spend some time actually getting the joints, greasing the grooves, getting everything going, right? We got some creaky knees or hips or shoulders.
Oh, yeah.
But then we come into our lifts. And then from there, we can add all these accessory pieces, whatever you want to do. If you want to start a jump rope program, great. You want to do some HIIT afterwards, great. But that 3 sets of 8, 2 different exercises is a foundation that works really well. And I pick a different movement each week.
Right.
Or you can, I am a huge believer in keeping a journal because what you track gets better.
No doubt about it.
What gets measured gets managed. So
no doubt about it.
it's really approachable to have 2 exercises. You can just write on a little scrap paper. For me, I always have a notebook with me, a tiny little one that fits in my pocket. I keep it with me everywhere. I write my to-do list on there. I write my journals. It's just simple. And you can look back at the book. You can see, I got to beat the book next time. So for instance, this morning I did dips and I did weighted lunges. Simple and easy.
Right.
Boom. And then, I had a little time. My toddler came out, or my 3-year-old, not even toddler anymore. He came out and we wanted to do some stuff with me. So we went and ran around the block. And instead of, he ran, I put a weighted vest on to add it. So there's my cardio. And that was the fun accessory piece I added in there. But I didn't have to stress about getting a 30-minute, an hour workout. That was my foundation.
Well, and that baseline allows you, a lot of people are traveling over the summer and everything. You can do that while you travel easily. I mean, no matter what hotel you're at now, me personally, when I'm looking at hotels, I try to get one with a nice gym. But most any of them have the things you need that you're talking about.
Absolutely.
You could do a baseline workout with it.
Or you could just buy a kettlebell. Buy a single kettlebell that's a little heavy for you. So for me, I bring a 50. For my wife, she brings like a 35. But find one that's approachable for you, and you can get any lift you want to get done with that. Now, your rep scheme may change, but pretty easy to find just one piece of equipment and bring it.
Yeah, absolutely.
You can do that in the hotel room. The neighbors don't need to know. You can be quiet about it, just get it done.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's where a lot of people, take that as an opportunity to, I'm going to take a break and I'm going to do this. But having that baseline, you're going to have that discipline. Well, this is who I am. This is what I'm going to do, whether I'm at home, whether I'm away, whatever, right? I
think most people get away from a lot of the things they do when they go on vacation or trips. The more momentum you can carry over, the better. So once again, when it comes to fitness foundation, having a plan that you carry over on these trips even, that's super easy to execute 3 times. You could do 1 or 2 workouts on that vacation. You can be done with it. And then go for, I think another foundational piece that works really well is having a minimum step goal that you just hit each day. And I don't even view steps necessarily as fitness. I view it as a mental tool. So I basket everything I do I have a nutrition basket, I have a lifestyle basket, and I have my fitness basket. And then on top of that, I do think sleep is a priority, but that's a topic for another day. But my fitness foundation is that 2 movements 3 times a week. My nutrition foundation that I think is your floor that you should stick with each day is every meal I get, I'm going to have a protein in a plant. That is super. Now, whatever protein, find a lean protein if you really want to be specific, but a protein in a plant goes a long way. Well, I'm having a meal out. What should I do? I need to get a salad. Boom. I need to get a side salad with it at least. That's one of the rules we do. No matter where we go. On date night last night, I said to myself, okay, we were at Vine and Ryan. Shout out to Vine and Ryan. Crushed it. I love them. That's great. It's where typically we love going date nights there. But from there, we also go to Curate. We go to Bailey. We got a lot of different places around town. But I always say I need to get something protein-based. So I'm making a good choice with that. Last night I had steak bites as my meal, and then I had a side salad. And then from there, if you want to have fun, you want to get a glass of wine or whatever on a date night, that's fine. Now, depending on your goal, you have to be you'll have to augment that. But if you just have a fitness or a health foundation of a protein and a plant with every meal, that's going to carry you almost everywhere. And if you have 3 meals a day, or say you're intermittent fasting, do 2, and then you got to get a snack, well, it's either a protein or a plant. If that's your foundation, that goes so far. Then you can add in pieces. You can get fancy. You can add in fermented foods and for gut dysbiosis. You can do all these esoteric things. But most people don't need that. They don't need all the fancy. They need consistent routine over and over, no matter what season of your life. So if you set these goals, that's how you have success. That's how you maintain that progress long term.
Completely agree. So the folks that want to take it one step forward on that protein and a plant, so you're not going to be able to, measure out your protein at a restaurant. But if you're at home, do you have a recommendation for, hey, this many ounces of protein on that plate?
I think if you're working with me, like as a health coaching client or a nutrition coaching client, we have specific goals. Yes, I think the more specific we can get, the more like into the details in the weeds, the better. But for most people, like just on a day-to-day plan, because if we're talking about floor, I think a fist-size portion. So for me, my fist is different than your size fist, which is different than my wife's size fist. So if you just look at your fist and say, this is the amount of portion I need, at least, good, that wins. That wins. That's, for me, that's about 5 to 6 ounces, right? That's a decent portion. Now, for me, I'm a protein eater. I'm a guy. I'm a carnivore. I like it a little bit more. So I might go up, but that's the minimum. And the same with my plant. Like side salad, that's going to be that probably times 2. So I get 2 portions of protein or plants with that, which goes a long way.
Is there a too much protein in terms of how much your body can actually process at one meal?
Interesting. So University of Illinois does a lot. Brent Schoenfield does a shout out, does a huge amount of research on like protein conversion and relates to lifting. There's no limit, but there's an amount that starts to displace the other things you want to do. So when you're in a growth phase, I think you can get too much protein. I think that pound of lean mass is always a good goal, but I think when you're in a kind of a growth phase, I think some of that could displace. You could get like 0.8 grams of protein per pound, but you still do that fist-based portion. But the reason is you start to push out some of the carb-based things, some of the things that have been shown to actually help you build muscle. Like not to say you can't build muscle on a keto diet or anything like that, but it will be slower. And if you're trying to maximize it and do it naturally without all the accessories of like exogenous substances, peptides, steroids, anything like that, it's better to introduce things that you can maintain long-term. And it's better to utilize your tools at your disposal. So for me, I'm a huge fan of introducing a little bit more carbs and pulling down the protein a little bit, just dialing it back a little bit. Now in a fat loss phase, I dial up my protein. A lot of people do the gram per pound, right? I think it's a little bit better to, when you're at the end stages of that fat loss, it's been shown that it's very hard to convert protein. It's not hard, your body can, like gluconeogenesis, the process of building proteins from other sources, but it's very hard. It's taxing on the body. So it's very difficult to put too much protein into fat. So in a fat loss phase, I want to introduce more protein. It causes you to be anabolic too. It's a little sneaky thing. So you can maintain more muscle in a fat loss phase. So there's a simple little tool that you can do if you're trying to switch things. So one of the things I always think about protein in a plant, if I'm in a growth phase, every meal is also going to have a carbohydrate with it. Like a starchy carbohydrate, something simple. When I'm in a fat loss phase, I'll probably remove 2 meals with, like, if just to make it easy, remove 2 carbs from 2 meals. So like you can have a little bit of fruit if you wanted to, but removing any starchy carbohydrate from 1 or 2 meals, and that makes it simple. It's just little switches that make it simple, and that's the whole goal here. Most adults struggle because they make it too complicated with their long-term plan if they're doing it themselves. And at the end of the day, if you're trying to get acute results very quickly, do everything as maximal as possible, having a coach, having accountability, having a plan really works. But if you're trying to maintain it long-term, I teach a lot of my clients that it's more important to set a floor, and this is just who I am. This is my behaviors that I go about. Just like brushing my teeth, I'm doing a protein and a plant. My fitness foundation, for a lot of people, they buy this new program. They're like, I'm doing this for 12 weeks. And that's great. If you're going to stick with it, that's great. And once you've demonstrated you have discipline to do that, good. But plan ahead for messiness. And I think the week is the perfect interval to measure. Not the day, but thinking about a messy week. In a messy week, you can say, I probably can get 20 minutes 3 times a week. I can do that. That's doable. So for me, what I'll do is I'll say, this is what my week looked like. Then the day-to-day can change. But in the week, that's what I'm doing. If you're playing 12 weeks, you're not factoring the messiness. That's too much time to think about. Like, it's good to have a program there, but when you have that floor, you're able to maintain that for a week. Like, for instance, this week's crazy. We're traveling. We're going on a little family vacation. I'm still working. Or got health coaching. We got kids sports. Everything's all over the place. Football, baseball. But at the end of the day, I can execute the minimum floor, and then I can always dial up the volume if I have the time in that day.
Right.
But no matter what, I don't go below this. It can't drop. It's my safety.
Love it. Well, we're here in the, I guess you could say, mecca for men's clothing in Springfield, right? They've got a little bit of everything in here.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to go shopping.
I know, right?
I know.
Anything specific maybe for men in the older 40s set? Anything that they should add to their fitness floor that maybe we haven't talked about?
So for men specifically, one of the things I find that most men miss is they miss cardio in their life. So they think running, but you know what's one of the things that's been helpful for muscle density? It helps with balance, helps recovery. I'm a huge fan of jumping rope lately. Mm-hmm. I think jumping rope has been a great tool, and not just like I'm doing single legs or double unders, like mixing in different movement patterns and skill sets. It trains your brain. It's a kind of like a cognitive tool that's a little bit of a brain tool too. It's cognitive, it's physical, it's at the same time, I'm getting a rhythm with it, I'm bounding, I'm getting a little jump rope. So that's been an easy tool, but finding a way to get some form of cardio in each week is great. And cardio for me is like 30 minutes. And one of the things for you, especially like people who have kids who are young that you want to interact with, make cardio fun. Make cardio fun again. I'm coining that. Make cardio fun again. So one of the easiest tools I do is, we got the weighted vest. I'll either do jump and rope, or if the kids are out there and want to go play with me, great. I'll throw on the weighted vest. I'm gonna go on a bike ride with them, or make it easy. Have tools that make it simple for you. So one of the things I'll do is I'll either throw on the weighted vest, or if the kids want to go on a bike ride, bikes is too easy for me with them. Like, especially my 3-year-old, he's like, Dad, slow down. So what I do is I make it easy. I'll either jog with him, or I got a little razor scooter, not an electric one, old school fashioned razor scooter with a wheelie bar so I can pop up, but it's hard and it's a single leg balance. And if you go for a razor scooter ride as an adult, try this. You're gonna have some glute burning from balancing on there. You're kicking and driving, and most adults never get their heel past their butt. And that's a little bit more of a technical term, but like that's what sprinting is. But once we hit like 20, for most guys, we're not sprinting anymore. We're not getting our heel, we're not getting hip extension where we're getting our heel past our butt anymore. So razor scooter is a great way to train the glutes, train the butt, so we don't have this glute amnesia anymore. We're not activating our butt muscles.
I will attest to that. I did that about 3 weeks ago. My younger daughter got one of those, and I got on that thing. I hadn't been on anything like that forever. And it was burning.
You got a little bit, people want to do all these booty workouts, these glute thrusters and everything. I'm like, get on the razor scooter, try balancing it. It works really well.
Heck yeah. Well, Brennan, so much great stuff today. Hey, if somebody wants to work with you on any of this, get a specific plan for them, where do they go, man?
They can reach out to us on Malham Health Maximization on Instagram, Facebook, or malhamhealthmaximization.com. And we try to make it easy for everyone to be healthy long term. We have Fed Kitchen too, through my wife and I. I want to make it easy for people to be healthy, and I want to make it cool again. Like, I think people think like, oh, I'm so structured, I can't have fun with vacations or anything like that. But no, it can be super cool. You can still be a fit parent and the healthy parent that gets to have fun on vacation, as long as you set these minimal floors and continue to execute those. It gets easy, and that's really what needs to happen long term. If you make it easy, you're gonna make it consistent, and if you make it consistent, you'll have long-term results.
Let's go. Well, appreciate you hanging out with me today, man.
Appreciate it, brother.
Good stuff.
Yep.
Thank you again to Crafted Stag, Grant Hammer, and his entire team. If you haven't been out here, check it out. But we're gonna let Brennan get back to elevating Springfield. But for the rest of y'all, be right back.
Hey, Springfield, when it comes to reliable, high-quality roofing, you don't want to leave things to chance. That's why you should reach out to Acosta Angeli Roofing, your local roofing expert, serving Springfield and surrounding communities. From quick, dependable repairs to full replacement, from residential to commercial, they are your trusted pros. Call them today at 217-993-2748 or visit their website to book your free quote and inspection. Don't wait. A little leak now could lead to major damage later. Trust the local experts, protect your home, and get peace of mind with Acosta Angeli Roofing. Well, thank you for joining us today, everybody. Appreciate you making us a part of your day. Hope you're enjoying these quick hits of actionable strategies here on the Wellness Upgrade on Elevate Springfield. Hey, take what you learned today. You bring the discipline and follow through, and together, that's right, y'all, we're going to elevate Springfield. Be great. Looking for expert tree care with hometown integrity? Look no further than Sangamon Tree Service. They're your trusted local pros, delivering quality workmanship, exceptional customer service, and fair, honest pricing every time. Whether it's trimming, removal, or storm cleanup, their team brings professionalism and care to every job, big or small. Call the name your neighbors trust, Sangamon Tree Service, or visit them today at sangamontreeservice.com. Sangamon Tree Service, rooted in quality, built on trust.